Sometime.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, I'm good today. Here, I'll be with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Got it. All right. Okay.
Don't let it
Governor,
go
you
in.
ready?
Always.
All right. Boom. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started then. So, I want to welcome everyone to Balloon Fiesta Park. We're actually sort of just east of the field, and our town, this is always a special week for us. We're getting ready for one of the most signature events for our city, of course, and the world when it comes to what we do for Balloon Fiesta. And extra special this year is, of course, it's the 50th anniversary. The long-awaited, one-year delayed 50th anniversary that everyone is extremely grateful for. And we have a few things we're going to share today, but we're joined by lots of special guests, including our Secretary of Transportation who's here. We're grateful, key role that NMDOT played on some of this. Also, our governor is going to speak in a moment. We also have the president of the Balloon Fiesta here as well. So we know there's going to be lots of different announcements about all the different things that are happening. We're just going to preview a few that are relevant to the folks here in this road behind us. We also have Councilor Brooke Bassan from this district. So today what we're celebrating, beyond just being excited about the Balloon Fiesta, is we have some major changes with respect to traffic that are done. And I know I actually heard there were some wagers on whether or not these projects would get done in time. And so I think a lot of people, oh, Pat Montoya, where's Pat? Got it done. And so actually several weeks early. So I want to highlight a couple of things. First, this is a $2.5 million project for a slip ramp. That is, you can see it right there behind me. And a slip ramp is something no one knew what it was until everyone came up with this idea. It is awesome. And Briqueños will recognize what a slip ramp is from Windrock, which if you know that little secret way onto the highway, now you have a secret way out of the Balloon Fiesta onto the highway, no traffic lights, no left turns. It's awesome. So this is going to have a huge impact, primarily though with respect to leaving the Fiesta. I think unfortunately we don't have the equivalent going into the Fiesta. But we also have a new turnaround that we're using for our park and ride setup, so that is going to be much smoother and help the buses not be as much in the way of normal traffic going in and out of the Fiesta. And also with respect to parking, we have 500 new spaces now ready. It's a lot that the city bought that now Balloon Fiesta is going to help run, and we have 500 additional parking spaces. As you recall, in some years we have run out of parking spaces, so hopefully this 500 will really help. So we're very excited about all of this, and I want to just share that, you know, beyond all the personal memories of myself chasing balloons when I was a kid on my bicycle, or even being part of a chase crew, it's a wonderful time in our city. But we're also doing everything we can to clean up the city, to get the airport ready. And we're fortunate to have a governor who also is extremely important and helpful and invested in the Balloon Fiesta. This project that I just described was because of her foresight when we said there's tons of traffic at Balloon Fiesta 4 years ago. 4 years ago, she'd been on the job like 6 months, and she said, I'm putting money into this slip ramp idea and I'm making NMDOT get it done. And so we're very grateful for her leadership. This project would not have happened without her in the state legislature. So without further ado, let's bring up our governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, good morning, everyone. Really, I don't have a whole lot to add. Look, you can hear the traffic. We're gonna hear a lot more of that earlier in the morning, starting very soon. And while that is a clear indication of both our beloved event, the Balloon Fiesta, and recognition of its international appeal, it means that more drivers, more visitors, and more commuters get caught up in that effort. And frankly, as a commuter to state government for a long time before I was lucky enough to be governor, the Balloon Fiesta is challenging first thing in the morning. So the issue is this: if we know, and we do, that we want to keep addressing traffic challenges, that while this one in particular is important, the reality is this $2.5 million for an exit creates more opportunities for year-long successes in this area, right? We want to keep building the kind of economic and cultural and weekend events that both locals from here deserve and want, and visitors are looking for infrastructure investments in cities who are clear about being open for their tourism and business. So the $2.5 million easy lift. Sorry that it wasn't here earlier. We all know there was a terrible thing, I don't even want to mention it, that happened in 2020 and 2021. This is in fact an incredible celebration where we are all outside, all recognizing the benefits of the incredible events that make Albuquerque and New Mexico special. A couple of highlights or introductions. I want to say thank you to Mayor Marty Chavez, who is all things infrastructure now. Wave your hand, Marty. He's doing a great job. Bragging more, you know, New Mexico is leading the nation and getting our applications in for all of the federal dollars that don't just show up. So while the infrastructure bill was an incredible opportunity for us and other federal investments, they require a ton of work and planning in order to get money here. We're doing that. Mr. Mayor, I've got visions of some electric vehicle charging stations right around here, and making sure that we keep building these areas for year-long attractions, but this one in particular, certainly a highlight. Our new secretary for the Department of Transportation, Mr. Ricky Cerna, raise your hand. Ricky right now, honestly, has the most difficult job in America because we are pumping in hundreds of millions of dollars into improving our roads and our access points all around the state, including here in Albuquerque. But they're also responsible for keeping people safe in the north, which means keeping those roads clear. For a state that needs more rain, I could use it targeted in a different way so that it's not happening in San Miguel, Mora, and Colfax counties every single day. And including, they're doing all the debris removal for individuals living through this particular set of flooding events, as well as dealing with the monsoon issues all around the state, which means bridges are out, roads are out. And I believe that in Grant County, we got a bridge back up that washed away, and the roads in, well, I think you say 3 days, but the core of it, so getting there, getting it set up, and then getting back, the core work occurred in about 24 hours because they are up all night. And I really want New Mexicans to know that we work for you 24/7. We're gonna get all of it done, and making sure that people can safely exit. And while we work on congestion going, this means that this is going to be a more memorable experience for everyone, and quite frankly, safer for the commuters who get caught up in the traffic as well. I also want to thank my friend Al for his leadership. The president of the Balloon Fiesta, marking this 50-year anniversary is incredible. And Councilor, I appreciate your leadership in this area of the city. This is a very exciting announcement. State's $2.5 million, and don't be shy, ask for more. Let's make sure we keep investing in the places where it really makes a difference. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you. 10 million.
Go for a cool 10.
I'll ask for a cool 10.
All right, thank
20
you.
million. They're just
There we go.
piling on back here. It was like 5, then someone said 10, now someone said 20. All right,
We're getting ready,
maybe I went
55th
out of the gate too
Fiesta. All right, well, we have a couple of other folks we do want to hand the mic off to. And one is Pat Montoya. I'm going to keep making the same reference until someone does a story on it. There's a race for the most people with their name on plaques in Albuquerque. And it's a tie between Pat Montoya and Lawrence Real.
More than it was a year ago, but this one stayed within budget, and we're quite pleased that happened. That being said, let me go ahead and introduce the individuals. I just want to recognize everyone because this really was a team effort. I'll start with Patty Watson, who was our media specialist. She kept everybody informed, worked closely with Sandia Pueblo and everyone to just make sure that the message got out, that we stayed on target. Horrocks Engineering was one of the firms that we worked with. I'm not sure if Habib is here, back here. One of the project managers, Habib. And then Anthony Lujan, the project inspector. Both gentlemen were here every day, every morning, working hard to make that happen. So thank you guys very much for having that happen. Mountain States Contractors Incorporated, Neil is here. I just saw him in the back, Neil Jackson, our project manager, and Brian Warner, our project superintendent. Brian is not here this morning, right? I think he's down south somewhere on another project. And then parametrics, these are the guys that actually designed the roadway for us. I'm going to start with Chris Baca because we beat this guy up over the last year and a half or 2 years between phone calls at 7 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning, but he made it happen. So Chris, I know that you're still with parametrics, semi-retired, but we're glad that you're here this morning. Thank you. And then actually the gentleman that was here just about every day to make sure this happened, Zach Troncoso. So Zach, thank you so much. And then we couldn't do this without the help from our city employees and especially our partners with NMDOT. Let me start with District Engineer for District 3, Justin Gibson. Justin and I have a good working relationship, Mr. Secretary. We're getting a lot of things done. Sometimes we don't agree on some of the little things, but we make it happen at the end of the day. So just this morning we agreed to street sweep Alameda, his stretch of the road, because I know his sweepers are down, Governor, and we're just working with him to make sure everything's ready for Fiesta, so we'll get that done. Justin, and then I know Jill Mosier is here. Jill, you were here as well, helping us on a daily basis to make sure this happened. I know Nancy Perea is not here, and FHWA folks are not here as well, but we worked very closely with them to make sure that everything got done. I know you'll hear from the Fiesta folks in just a minute, but they were extreme partners in making this happen as well. And then I have to thank the city employees. And first, let me recognize one of my coworkers, Dave Simon, who is the director for Parks and Rec. We've got some really major improvements at the park this year. Park and Ride is going to be a real success because of their efforts. So, Dave, thank you for joining us. But I really need to start with Debbie Bauman. Debbie was on this for probably 2 to 3 years as well. Made sure that we got all the paperwork into NMDOT, got all of the financing done for this project. Debbie worked extremely hard. So, Debbie, thank you so much. Ron Romero was our project manager, and Ron is, I just saw him in the back here, again, on a daily basis, inspecting, making sure that everything got done properly, on time, within budget. So, Ron, thank you for your efforts. I want to recognize our deputy director, Jennifer Turner, who actually worked closely with our CIP official, and I have to thank Mark Motzko especially, because he had the vision to hire through one of our on-calls to get this done quicker. And the challenge was against one of the TV stations. We beat them. Unfortunately, we didn't collect the $5,000, but that's a different story. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to turn it back over to you. But I just want to thank everyone, the public, for your patience. I know that this was somewhat of an inconvenience, especially for a lot of the businesses that are around here. But it's open, it's ready, and we're going to get people in and out much quicker than we did before. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Okay, we want to close with a couple of words from, we talked a lot about the history, a little bit about the history and what this means. And also, we have to give, Marty's the guy who moved it here. So good job, Mayor Chavez. Good move on this whole Balloon Fiesta thing. But also, we're joined by the president of Balloon Fiesta. And Al Tetrault has decades of experience in all sorts of ways, in all things Balloon Fiesta. And we're grateful for his and his family's service to our law enforcement community, to Albuquerque Police Department. So let's bring up the president of Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. Come on up.
Thank you. I don't have a long speech. I'm going to make it very quick. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows, on behalf of the board of directors and on behalf of Balloon Fiesta, I want to thank the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico, specifically the governor and the mayor, for helping get this slip ramp in. This will make a real improvement to expediting folks outside when we're at the end of our fiesta. Of course, we need more roads and more infrastructure to continue to make this better, and I'm one of the guys that's asking for another 50 million, but I got a laugh out of him anyways. But anyways, I also want to take and bring up this young lady. She's our transportation officer. Her name is Amanda, and she's the one that's been taking all the hits all year. I just come in, I'm the figurehead, and she takes all the hits. So if you got any problems with transportation, that's the lady you need to call. So anyways, I thank you, and I thank the governor. I thank everybody in the city, and I could stand here all day. I know Marty Chavez for years. When I was a police officer, I knew him, and after when I was on the board all these years. So I appreciate him, and I thank all of you for what you've done, and I thank the media for coming out here to take a good solid look at that slip ramp, because that's going to be a big improvement for us, and we've got a lot of other improvements that I hope you guys get to cover in the next few years. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much. I think what we're going to do, if there are questions and such, we're happy to take them, but we're going to let Scott kind of organize folks. I know it being a Monday morning, some people have to peel off. And so we'll officially wrap up, and happy Balloon Fiesta, everybody. Thank you. You can just pair people off if anyone's interested.
Yeah, you're welcome.